Doc, you said they are worried that we are a threat. Who's they?
The extraterrestrial civilizations.
They think we're a threat.
Yes.
The first incident was filmed off the California coast in 2004, an oval shape hovering, and in the words of the Navy pilot who recorded this, not behaving by the normal laws of physics.
So you've personally had interaction with extraterrestrial aliens out there?
Yes.
Personally. Has it been a face-to-face or it's been through the energy?
Face-to-face.
You face-to-face met an alien before?
Yes. One of the species that we had a contact with looked very similar to humans.
A friend of mine was able to have his aircraft stop at 40,000 feet or so and not continue operating as a normal aircraft. What was going on?
What I and other people with me have seen and documented and photographed, that I am very confident about. There's a lot of other things that are out there that are conjecture that I try to steer away from. So the caricature you see in Hollywood movies, it's sort of a joke. October 1954. That was the date we mastered gravity control. What I mean by gravity control are high voltage systems that cause an object to what looks like levitate or move the way that vehicle that you saw in that video released by the Pentagon this week. And they confirmed, yes, this is real footage. And they released 3 different videos. What they didn't say, because the people releasing it don't know this, because of the compartmentalization, is that there is an unacknowledged compartmented program that began studying this in the 40s and 50s, and by 1954 had figured out how those things operate. So when you see one of these objects, you have to ask a question. Is it a classified or is it interstellar? And both are out there, by the way. But no one's asking the question, is it A or B?
Only on Motive
What the public isn't being told is that we have in fact figured out how those objects operate, and that would give us an entirely new and advanced civilization where we would not need fossil fuels. So it's a very big story. Most people think the secrecy around this is because the government has just been incompetent. That's not true. That narrative is a false narrative. In order for our civilization to move forward significantly, we're going to have something better than solar panels and windmills. And the good news is we have it. The bad news is there are sociopaths who are in super secret projects that don't want us to have it. And our civilization has been greatly harmed, not to mention our environment and biosphere. So a lot of people think this is about aliens. I said, no, it's not about ETs. It's about humans, and how are humans going to get out of the conundrum we're in, which is a very serious problem, and move forward as a civilization instead of sliding backwards. We actually are living in a situation where the extreme secrecy Eisenhower warned us about, the worst of that has come to fruition. And frankly, no one is reporting that, certainly not the mainstream news media. This is not just the United States, by the way. The same situation exists in Great Britain, Australia, and it's an enormous problem because we're talking about a major dysfunction of the Constitution and rule of law on arguably the biggest secret in the history of the United States. And when that happens, a lot of bad things will occur. Things go wrong when things are not being overseen properly and controlled properly. And that's the situation we face. So the other myth that people have is that on the things that are really important, that we have a free press. We do not. Actually, the Soviet Union had a freer press than we do on this. So ironically, there's a really big problem with the US function because of this level of, frankly, corruption. There's nothing else to call it but corruption.
Only on Motive.
And it has really hurt our democracy, but it's also hurting our economy. You know, people use the term deep state. It's an incorrect term. The proper term is an unacknowledged special access project. And that's a tragedy for the human race, but it's a tragedy for the planet, and it's a tragedy for our children. So my concern is, the future. The past is the past, but we have to figure out how to catch up sort of Back to the Future. It's like that cartoon show, The Jetsons, when they showed people flying around in these cars. When that cartoon was made, those technologies were already developed. About 2.5 years ago, when they first surfaced, this documentary called Unacknowledged went viral and literally has had over 600 million people see it. The counterintelligence people at the Pentagon wanted this footage to come out, but with the narrative that it's a threat to our national security. If you look at that narrative, what they have been saying is, yes, this is real, but it's a threat to our airspace, it's a threat to our pilots. I think that these civilizations view humans at this stage of becoming extremely technologically advanced, but not socially and spiritually advanced enough to handle it. So humans being so narcissistic, we always are thinking, oh, I don't understand what this is. It's a threat to me. The irony of this is that we're actually the out of control primates rampaging around the planet with endless wars, and now covertly putting programs up into space that are extremely powerful technologies on satellites that are a threat.
So you've personally had interaction with extraterrestrial aliens out there?
Yes.
Personally?
Yes.
Has it been a face-to-face or it's been through the energy?
Face-to-face.
You face-to-face met an alien before?
Yes. What I and other people with me have seen
only on
and documented and photographed, that I am very confident about. There's a lot of other things that are out there that are conjecture that I try to steer away from. I always tell people the great teacher is experience, and the foundation of science, by the way, is empiricism, observation, experience. Ultimately, it's what people can experience and prove and know for themselves, which is one of the reasons people say, oh, what you're saying sounds unbelievable. I said, well, go out and try this and see if something happens. I really am an empiricist. I think people need to rely on their own ability to discover what the truth is and not rely on myself or any other expert to tell them what they should or shouldn't believe. I just think people should engage in self-discovery and discovery in the world. Every stable star system has planets around it. And the number of intelligent civilizations that are estimated to just be in our own galaxy number in the millions. Let me repeat that. And we're one galaxy out of trillions of galaxies. So what I'm going to say then is that in our experience, we have had sightings and encounters and with almost the full gamut of types of
only on
life
Be Positive.
forms. So the caricature you see in Hollywood movies and in most UFO stuff, that's just almost like it's sort of a joke. And nobody in the intelligence community takes those seriously. And this is part of the problem, because the mythology on this subject is the dominant database that's out there. And the facts about the subject are the hardest to find. So we're trying to get some clarity on that. So I tell people the content that we have is orders of magnitude more significant than the footage you're seeing on CNN. And you have to ask the question, why isn't CNN and Fox News doing that story? And what I'm saying to the public is the facts on this issue are there. They have to be recognized as facts. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but not their own set of facts. So the facts that we need to deal with empirically as observed phenomenon have to be accounted for. Now, if our scientific paradigm doesn't quite account for all the strange things that are observed, it doesn't mean it's not legitimate. It just means our science is very early. We're only in the first couple hundred years of any real level of scientific rigor. And so there needs to be some degree of humility on the part of the humans about the fact that we are sort of one half of one step out of the jungle as a species, but we're already dealing with advanced civilizations that are several orders of magnitude past where we are. And that's okay. I mean, this is how civilizations evolve.
To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button above this video.